So I'm John McDermott, for those that don't know me, and I'm just outgoing Deputy Director General of ILRI and Director of Research, and I've been at ILRI since 1997. From 97 until March 2003 I was a scientist, working on a lot in the field in West Africa and Uganda and Tanzania, in Ethiopia and other places, on kind of disease control, on infectious disease modeling, both for zoonoses and for animal health. I joined as Deputy Director General in April 2003, and at that time ILRI had just redone its strategy, livestock a pathway out of poverty, and we were restructuring the research program, and there was a relatively new team of people coming in, including me. So I guess the things I'm most pleased about us doing in the past few years, since 2003, one is I think that the research we do is much more relevant to development. I think that thinking through the strategy of how livestock can help poor people and the specific impact pathways that can take has really helped us, and we've been able to restructure our research in ways which are much more meaningful for development. So I think that's been one positive thing. To do that, you need good people, and those people need to work together in teams, and I think that's another thing that I'm quite pleased about, is that we have a pretty good research team now of people focused on livestock research for development, and that's gone well, and I think for the most part they work very well together in kind of transdisciplinary groups, and that's quite important. The other thing is that they work quite well with partners, and the partners are quite important because we're a relatively small institution who wants to have a big reach. And so working through other people is very important, and I think a lot of our researchers understand that. So I think the other thing we've done is we've put a kind of big bet on modern science and technology and how that can work, especially biosciences. We've made big investments in that, and that's been hard work to try and get the facilities built, to do the environmental impact assessments and a wide variety of things. That was a huge team effort to get that going, and I think that's been good. I think it's critical now for the future to see how we can leverage those facilities, the skills we have, to have much greater impact in terms of bringing in African partners and other partners to really make biosciences work for the poor. There's obviously challenges and opportunities for livestock research for development. I think the big opportunities are that people are starting to recognize that livestock is really important. It's important both for the very positive things it can do, particularly in terms of incomes, in terms of employment, lots of positive benefits for livestock, but we have to manage the negatives. We have to look at how we can improve the environmental sustainability, how we can cut disease risks. So I think that's been a change over the last few years. Is when we started in 2002, 2003 with our new strategy, we accentuated the positive and ignored the negatives. And I think now we have a much more balanced approach to it, looking at the positives of livestock and trying to mitigate the negatives. I'm really excited to be moving to the new CGIAR research program for nutrition and health. I think that's what we're supposed to call it. But it's really about leveraging agriculture to have much more positive impacts on nutrition and health. And I think this new idea of larger CGIAR research programs, bringing different groups together, having much larger programs with critical mass, is a great idea. And of course I've spent a lot of my career looking at the links between agriculture and public health, mostly around infectious diseases. But I think that agriculture is one of the biggest things in developing countries, and health is also a huge thing, and connecting those two sectors will have enormous possibilities. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think that ILRI can play a great role in a number of these CGIAR research programs, because livestock is so important in in all aspects of agriculture, but really the synergies between livestock, crops, trees, and other things is what really pays off for poor people.